Welcome to this comprehensive update on President Trump's tariff policy as of July 31st, 2025. Over the next few minutes, we'll examine the latest developments, including extended deadlines, new trade agreements, and economic impacts that are reshaping global trade. With tariffs now ranging from 10% to 70%, these policies carry significant consequences for businesses, consumers, and international relations. Let's begin. Key points. Here are the critical takeaways as we approach the August 1st deadline. First, the New York Times provides an essential interactive map, updated July 27th, that tracks every tariff deal and negotiation. I'll share the link shortly for your reference. Second, tariff rates now span from 10 to a staggering 70%, with the EU and Japan securing favorable 15% rates, while Brazil faces 50% and others like Bangladesh confront 35%. These disparities reflect the administration's hardline negotiation strategy. Third, economic ripple effects are already visible. U.S. inflation hit 5.4% in July, while Canada risks recession. Legal challenges loom, with the pivotal court hearing scheduled for July 31st that could upend certain tariffs. As this visualization shows, only 30% of affected countries have secured deals so far, leaving 40% facing steep tariffs without agreements. Policy timeline. Let's rewind to understand how we reached this point. In February 2025, the administration signaled its intent with steel and aluminum tariffs. By April, expansive tariffs were announced but paused for negotiations, a 90-day window that saw intense diplomacy. The timeline intensified in May when the EU narrowly avoided 50% tariffs, buying time until July 9th. That deadline was then extended to August 1st, the date now looming over global markets. Just days ago, on July 27th, the EU secured a historic 15% deal, avoiding the worst-case scenario. This graph captures the policy's escalating intensity, from 20% in February to 100% implementation readiness by August. The dips reflect negotiated reprieves, but the overall trajectory is unmistakable. Countries with trade deals. Which countries successfully navigated these turbulent waters? The EU's July 27th agreement stands out. A 15% tariff on 38.5 billion euros in exports, particularly benefiting German automakers. Japan matched this rate days earlier, shielding its critical auto industry. Vietnam's deal is more nuanced, a 20% baseline tariff, but 40% on goods with Chinese components, reflecting supply chain complexities. China maintains a two-tiered structure, 20% on fentanyl and 10% elsewhere, though negotiations remain tense. Compare these outcomes to Brazil's 50% rate, a stark reminder of the cost of no deal. Political tensions with former President Bolsonaro exacerbated their position. Countries without deals. For these nations, the August 1st deadline brings severe consequences. Brazil's 50% tariff will hammer agricultural exports. Indonesia's 32% rate threatens its textile industry, while Canada's 25% penalty on non-USMCA goods could trigger a recession. This map tells the story visually: green for deals secured, yellow for ongoing talks, and red for no agreement. Notice the concentration of red in Southeast Asia and the Americas, regions now scrambling for last-minute solutions. Mexico's 17% tomato tariff exemplifies targeted measures, while Thailand's 36% rate shows how mid-sized economies face disproportionate impacts. Economic impact. The economic fallout is already materializing. U.S. inflation has accelerated to 5.4%, with appliances, clothing, and furniture prices rising fastest due to import costs. Meanwhile, our trade deficit continues climbing, projected to hit $88 billion. As these parallel trends, rising inflation and growing trade deficits, challenge the policy's core objectives, stock markets remain volatile, with auto and semiconductor sectors most vulnerable. Globally, Canada's potential recession underscores the domino effect. Supply chain disruptions could worsen if more countries don't secure deals by August 1st. International response. How is the world pushing back? The EU is aggressively diversifying trade partnerships, a clear move to reduce U.S. dependence. China has retaliated with precision tariffs on agricultural exports, while Mexico's President Sheinbaum projects confidence in last-minute negotiations. Three strategies emerge: retaliation, realignment, and resilience. Some countries like Canada are preparing retaliatory measures. Others like Japan accepted concessions. A few, including Vietnam, are attempting hybrid approaches for sensitive industries. Conclusion and outlook. As we conclude, mark these critical dates. July 31st's court hearing could invalidate certain tariffs, while August 1st's implementation will test global economic resilience. Fall 2025 may bring deals with holdouts like India, but the damage could already be done. Key questions remain. Will inflation force policy adjustments? Can supply chains adapt? And, crucially, will these tariffs actually reduce the trade deficit as intended? Stakeholders must monitor developments closely. One thing is certain, the coming weeks will redefine international trade for years to come. Thank you. Are there any questions?